One of the longest trails at the Cuyuna State Recreation Area is now called the Galloping Goose. It's another connection to local history. Well, why is it called the Galloping Goose? What was the Galloping Goose? In short, it was a local train, but there's a lot more to the story. For over a century, if you were going anywhere beyond your town, you likely took a train. But by the mid-20th century, automobiles were more reliable and the state and national highway system was to a point where you could drive anywhere. As railroad passenger traffic declined, it wasn't profitable to operate a full train as we think of it to transport fewer and fewer people. To help railroads cut costs, the Budd Company of Philadelphia built the RDC, Rail Diesel Car, a self-powered rail car. It was designed to carry passengers and some freight over relatively short distances. The top speed was about 85 miles an hour. The Northern Pacific Railroad was a national railroad with major facilities in Brainerd. Corporate headquarters were in Brainerd and later St. Paul. The NP operated from Ashland, Wisconsin to Seattle, Washington, and even extended to Winnipeg, Manitoba. The NP is now history and is one of nearly 400 railroads that make up the BNSF. The NP ordered 2 Budd cars in 1955. They ran between Staples and Duluth until 1969. Each made a round trip each day. Locals called it the Galloping Goose, and it even inspired a song by Louis Raymond.
Conductor yells and all aboard in Deerwood on the way. The Galloping Goose is making time. It won't be late today. His eyes look down at his pocket watch when Aiken's getting near. Then he yells out MacGregor so all the car can hear. Now
Folks relied on the Goose for local transportation. Think of it as a bus, but on rails. I talked to a woman who took the Goose weekly to college in Duluth. Another woman told of taking the Goose from Deerwood to Brainerd in the morning, shopping in downtown Brainerd, and then catching the eastbound Goose back to Deerwood. If you Google Galloping Goose, you will learn that the original Goose was a bus converted to run on rails by the Rio Grande and Southern Railroad in Colorado. It was a strange-looking vehicle and earned its name. While the NP's Goose didn't look nearly as strange, it was a passenger car with no locomotive. It had none of the glamour, sleek lines, or romance of the North Coast Limited. The Budd Company even made a jet-powered car. The New York Central called it the Black Beetle, and in 1966 it set a speed record of 186 miles per hour, which still stands. It never went into service, however. Budd cars are still used on commuter lines today. So that's the story of the Galloping Goose. There's a lot of history at the Cuyuna State Recreation Area. I told the story of Man-High Hill and Man-High Trail in another video. You might want to check that out. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan Hegstead, Easy Street Video Productions. I tell stories.
You people of the Northland, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You can sing with pride, she was one hell of a ride. The train called the Galloping Goose.